Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. This is Pawan. I'm a registered nurse based in Sydney, Australia. Let's talk practical. What supplies do you actually need in nursing school? I get this question asked a lot when I work at the hospital, especially from the first year nursing students, that what supplies should I invest in for nursing school? So I thought it would be a great idea to make a video about it because some of you may also be wondering the same question. So let's talk about the list of things that you will need to make your life as a nursing student a whole lot easier. Now, these lists can vary from person to person, depending on your needs and your budget. But even if you're short on cash, investing in some of the things that I'm going to talk about in this video would be a smart move. The first one on the list is nursing school planners. Now, this is something I swear by. I'm sure I've mentioned this in some of my other videos as well. Even for people who've never used a planner before, you would want to use one in nursing school. It just helps you navigate through the semester so easily. It's really important to stay organized in nursing school because it's a busy degree. You will have your assignments that are due. At the same time, you have your clinical placements, your worksheets, tutorials, labs, and all that. And planners actually help you achieve those goals by staying on top of everything. Now, you have two options when it comes to planners. The first one is you can have a desk planner. It's a physical hard copy of a planner that you can buy from Kmart or Officeworks, and they typically cost around $10 to $15 depending on how much you want to spend on them. So this is one of those hard copy planners that you can put on your desk where you spend most of your time studying at home. And the other option would be having an online version of a planner on your iPad or your laptop, whatever device you use more frequently in nursing school. And the option for the online version of a planner, the first one is Google Calendar, and that's my favorite option as well because it's so easy to use. Or if you're really creative and good with tech, you can go with Notion and other apps like that. But Google Calendar is one of my favorite ones. When I was in nursing school, I was a bit old school. I preferred a hard copy so I can have it on my desk physically and I can physically check all the boxes that I'm ticking as I go through the semester. And I used to use like different colored pens and highlighters to color code different things, like clinical placements were all blue and assignments were all red, and the assignments that weighed more marks were also like highlighted in a different way. So you can make your planners a little bit more interesting by using your creative skills. But just the joy of ticking the things that I was completing during my nursing school was something that was very enjoyable. And I'm sure the online version of the apps and things also give you the same satisfaction, but the idea is to have a planner of any sort, whichever one you prefer, whether it's a hard copy or it's an online version of a planner. The second one on the list is a stethoscope. As a nursing student, you would be using stethoscope a lot. From the very first semester, you would be using one to learn how to do vital signs, taking blood pressure and all that in labs. Yes, in the labs that you will go and learn all these skills, they will have some stethoscopes that would go around and be shared between the students. But I would suggest investing in one from day one. This is something that you would be using during the whole of your nursing degree. Especially when you go for different placements in different healthcare facilities, you can carry your own stethoscope around to do vital signs. Because doing vital signs as a student is something that you would be doing very often. And yes, on the wards you will find some stethoscopes already, but there's not as many as the nurses on the ward. It's ideal that you have your own that you can carry around, and you won't be wasting a lot of time like going around and looking for one every time you have to do a blood pressure. And I agree that there are so many automatic machines that I use these days, so you won't really need a stethoscope for blood pressure. But every time you find a blood pressure reading which is outside the normal ranges, you would want to do a manual one just to make sure the reading you're getting on the automatic machine is actually correct. And those shared stethoscopes on the wards are actually not just shared between the nurses, they are also shared between the doctors and the interns. And not necessarily everyone will clean after they use it. So not only you'll be spending a lot of time going around on the ward looking for a stethoscope every time you have to do a manual blood pressure, but also you'll be spending 1 or 2 minutes every time you have to use it to make sure it's clean. And you can actually focus your attention and time on the things that you're learning instead of, looking for a stethoscope every time you have to do vital signs. And how much money you want to spend on a stethoscope, it's totally up to you. The Littmann ones are the best ones, and I'm going to link the one that I use in the description below. So make sure you go and check it out if you are wanting to invest in one. But as a nursing student, if you're low on cash, you can even get like something cheaper. And I'll link one of those down below as well for you to check it out. The third one on the list is a calculator. Now, this is something that doesn't cost too much, but is very useful in nursing school. Now, there's going to be a lot of maths classes in nursing school where they teach you how to do different drug calculations and count the IV drop rate and all that. And for that, you will need to use a calculator. And yes, someone can argue that you can actually use your phone as a calculator, but if you're having a focused study session, ideally you want to put your phone away, physically away from you, so that doesn't distract you. Because every time you pick up the phone, subconsciously you're thinking that, oh, I'm going to open Instagram just for a second and see what's happening there. So it's actually very beneficial for you to invest in a calculator that you can use in your study session while you put your phone away. And also during your maths exam in nursing school, you won't be allowed to have your phone on you. So during then, you will actually need a physical calculator anyway. So may as well just invest in one from day one and not just use it for the exams, but also use it when you're having a focused study session as well. The next one on the list is clinical placement supplies. Now, these are the little things that you would carry to your clinical placements to make your life as a nursing student a whole lot easier. The first one that you would use is, of course, your stethoscopes, which we've already covered. The second one on the list is pen torches. Now, this little torch is something that looks like a pen, which is used to do neuro exams. Now, this is something that doesn't cost a lot, but it comes in really handy when you're doing a neuro exam on your patient. Especially when a patient deteriorates or if they've come back from post-op, you would still want to do a neuro exam. Now, this is something that's very versatile. It's not confined to just neuro wards and neuro patients, but it's just a nice tool to have on you if you need to do a neuro exam on a patient. And trust me when I tell you, except for the neuro ward, these pen torches are not actually easily available on the wards. So it would be nice to have it on you all the time as a nursing student, just in case there's an opportunity to do a neuro exam. And having a little notebook on you during your clinical placements is very handy, something that's not too big that you can fit in your pocket. Now, you'll be learning a lot of things on your clinical placements, new medications, new procedures, and all those different things. And all the interesting things that you come across and you think that you might forget, which you will if you don't write it down, it's nice to have a little book that you can write all these little notes in. And when you go home or at the end of your clinical placement block in that area, you can go through all the notes and see what you've learned. But also keeping in mind when you're writing down these little notes that you don't write any confidential information because you would be taking this notebook home. So just having the interesting notes about nursing and medications and all those things and leaving all the confidential matters out of that notebook. And the other thing that would be really handy for you to have for your placement is a fob watch. Now, this is a little nurse's fob watch that we wear in the hospital. Now, in the hospital, you won't be allowed to wear your wristwatches and all those things because of infection control reasons. So it's actually very handy to have the little fob watch on you because not only that helps you keep track of time, but also comes in handy when you're doing your vital signs as well. And they don't cost a lot. So investing in a fob watch from day one would be really handy because not only you will use it in your nursing school, you will also keep using it even after. Same with all these other things like, stethoscopes, pen torches, and all these other things. You would continue to use them for the rest of your nursing career. And the last one on the list for your clinical placement supplies is a water bottle. Now, this is not something that you would just be using for your clinical placements, but in general. But having a water bottle on you during your clinical placements is great because as a student, you would be running around, learning a lot of things, information overload. So to help you think clearly, you want to make sure that you invest in a good water bottle. I personally love having a water bottle because it helps me track how much water I've actually drunk in the day. If I didn't have that, then I wouldn't know. And I would probably think, oh, I've drunk a lot of water, but actually I haven't. So having a water bottle is really important. It not only reminds you to drink water, but also helps you track your water intake. Okay, the next one on the list is a backpack or a tote bag, whichever one you prefer. Now, as a nursing student, you would be carrying a lot of stuff around. Your books, your laptop, iPad, whatever devices you're using, and your water bottles, your stationery, and all those things. So you want to make sure that you invest in a backpack which is durable, but also easy to carry around. Some people prefer the tote bag, but I myself am a big fan of the backpacks. Even till today, after so many years of having finished nursing school, I still carry my backpack around, especially for work. It's just so much easier for me to carry, but it's a personal choice again. Having little compartments in the bag is actually really handy because it helps you stay organized. Then you would know which compartment my stationery is in and which compartment or sleeve my laptop or my iPad is in. It's just a lot easier. And this backpack is not something that you would be using for just nursing school. You're going to be using this one for your clinical placements as well. So having something durable that's easy and comfortable to carry is the way to go. And in the description box below, I'm going to link the bag that I use. Check it out if you like it. If not, just get something similar because it does have a lot of compartments, which makes it a lot easier for you to organize your bag. The next one on the list is your electronics, your iPads, laptops, whatever you feel comfortable using. Now, most of your study for nursing school is going to be online. Your assignments, worksheets, sometimes even the lectures are held online. So you'll be spending a lot of time on this device. So make sure that you are, first of all, comfortable using whatever device you have chosen. And also it's easy to carry around. It's not something that's very bulky and very heavy because you'll be carrying around for good like 3 years. And investing in something that's also reliable would be the way to go. Now, I feel this is the biggest investment for your nursing school when it comes to supplies, because let's face it, iPads and laptops are not cheap to buy. But make sure you do some sort of research before you invest in something, because again, you want something that's reliable, that's not going to ditch you mid-assignment and then you lose all your assignment and then you have to redo the whole thing again. When I was in nursing school, I invested in a second-hand MacBook Air. I bought it off one of the students who graduated already, and I just happened to be there at the time when they were selling it. And when I was about to buy it, I was a little bit skeptical, thinking, oh, it's a big investment, I don't know if I should go secondhand. But I was lucky enough that it got me through the nursing degree, and it still works. I still have it. I don't use it anymore. I've given it to one of my family members and they use it, but it still works. So make sure you're investing in something that's reliable and that's going to stick around for a while. Now, if you decide to buy a laptop or an iPad or whatever device you want to use for your university, after you have enrolled in the course, you would actually be eligible for a student discount at JB Hi-Fi and Apple Store. So make sure you use all those student discounts every chance you get. And one of the things that I would recommend not spending a lot of money on is books, like those big chunky books for nursing school, because whatever university you choose to go to, they would have a library, and that library will have a few copies of the same book that students can borrow. Nursing school is expensive already, so I would recommend investing in things that would serve you for much longer than something that would be dated and you won't even be able to resell it, and something that you're not going to use after you graduate. But hey, that's my personal opinion. If you're someone who wants to invest in books, by all means, go for it. So even if you're tight on budget, trust me, some of these supplies are totally worth the investment. A few key items can make a big difference to your nursing school journey. So prioritize what you need and don't stress too much. Just get what you can and you'll be all set. In the description box below, I'm going to link a few of these things that we talked about in the video, but I'm going to make two separate lists. So one list which is sort of budget friendly for nursing students who don't want to spend a lot of money on, which is very fair. The second list would be all the things that I use as a nurse, which you can invest in from day one of your nursing school journey, because that's something that's not going to break down and you can continue to use it for as long as you are a nurse, basically. And I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.